Today we're going to go over this plate carrier, do a little review on it, and go over the features that it has, as well as some of the mods that I've done to it, and the things I like about it, the things I don't like about it. This is an LBX plate carrier. It's a 0094. It's the same as the LBT plate carrier, with some exceptions of a few little differences, minor differences. But this is catering more towards the airsoft side, or those guys that are not doing the daily combat stuff. So it's the same company. This is just a off branch of the parenting company. So let's get into this review and see if this plate carrier is the choice for you, what choice you should make when buying a plate carrier, and maybe some of the features that you're looking for in a plate carrier as I go over this. So let's get into it. So before choosing your plate carrier, you want to determine your size that you would need, and the sizing is based on your torso and then the style of plate you want. So there's a square cut plate, which is typically a rectangle, and it has sharp corners or rounded corners at the top, but typically it's just a triangle or a rectangle. Then you have your corners with the small chamfer, which is like your shooter cut, which has a chamfer around this area. And then you have your swimmer's cut, which is at a dramatic angle, so it's a lot more narrow up here, so that way you got more arm movement. So you want to determine the style plate you want and then the size. So typically the measurement comes off of your collarbone area, so this is supposed to be pressed all the way up to your collarbone, and then the length is usually around your stomach area. To get all those details and specs, definitely do your research and decide which ones you need before purchasing these plate carriers. And this plate carrier here will hold swimmer's cuts, of course. It's just a lot more angle here, but typically it's designed for the shooter cut, which is a slight angle on the edges. And then you got your curved plates, you got your non-curved plates, and then you have your multi-curved plates. And typically that's around this area is your curved plate. Flat plate would just go up and down, and then your multi-curve will kind of roll this way around your body and then this way. Usually your ceramic coated plate or your ceramic plating will have that multi-curved option, and then your steel plates are usually flat or with the single curve. So that's a little bit on the plates, but what you came here for is this plate carrier, which is the LBX, and we'll start this review. So the majority of this plate carrier here is basically the same as the LBT version of this, with a few exceptions. So the LBT version, you will not get the integrated mag pouches. So these are sewn directly onto this front flap here that houses the cummerbund, and I made these little inserts for them out of Kydex. The reason why I chose red was just get a prototype and see how it functions and its movement. So these aren't the final product. I just created them to see how they work. So you just slide them in there like that. Another option would be to leave a little tab where it could push down into this molly on the outside to hold it. But so far so good. I could put a mag in there and it won't come out. So whether you use it for airsoft or you use it for, you're just shooting at the range just to get that muscle memory, is totally up to you. This is just what I have. I don't have any plates in it right now. So these pockets here have little, what they ended up having was an actual shot cord coming through here, where you could basically put the shot cord around your mag and then loop it around this molly webbing. That's kind of cumbersome because you gotta lift the tab up and put it over, so I took that off. And then at the bottom you have drains here. Okay, so if it gets wet, you could drain it out. If you're using this for some serious war type stuff or home protection, this one will be okay. But if you're doing some extreme stuff, and even airsoft, like if you're running around and you have real plates in here, I don't recommend getting the LBX version, only because it comes with this little piece here, and when you slide your plate in, this velcros to the top of this, so the hook and loop connects right there, and that's all that holds your plate. Okay, so what I ended up doing was adding more velcro to the bottom. All this is velcro, so I could push this up in there, and then I come across with the velcro at the bottom to hold it, so it's double secure in there. Also, I recommend you getting this size accordingly, because this is a large, so the style plates that I had in there basically came down to about right here, and when I pushed them all the way to the top, since that velcro piece, since this nylon stuff right here didn't allow them to push up high enough, they tend to sit on the lower side of this, and the plate would run about right here instead of all the way to the top. And you kind of want this to go across your collarbone area, so you want the plates to sit up as high as possible in the plate carrier. So I ended up getting a medium in the plate carrier because the large was too big for my plates and my frame size. So keep that in mind when purchasing your plate carrier and your plates. Okay, so as we make our way around, the other difference is on the side, your Cummerbund, it doesn't accept plates for the side plating, and that's another difference between the airsoft version and the actual GI or military version, LBX versus LBT. Cummerbunds could be swapped out, no big deal. You do have an adjustment back here that slides in this back area. And then of course you have nice stitching. You have double runs of stitching coming across here on this thick 2-inch strap. You have this 2-inch buckle here. It's large. I kind of loop my stuff around so that way it doesn't get snagged and then come undone, so I double loop it so it tucks up in there, so it looks really fluid as far as the strap is concerned. You have this extension piece here that kind of keeps up this buckle away from your shoulder blades, so that way it doesn't run into it and irritate you over time. And then that's basically the inside. You have your logo in there. It says made in the USA, lbt.com. Down here it says LBT across the top, even though it's LBX because that's the parenting company. And then you have this open flap in here. I don't know what this flap is for. I believe it's just to maybe stuff something in there real quick where you need quick access to as an additional pouch. So for the actual the sling, this is a Magpul. I think it's an S3 sling it's called. What I ended up doing was cutting it. So I cut the sling in half and I sewed in some shot cord in there, and I did a box stitch here in this area to hold it. I scrunched up all the material, pulled the shot cord all the way to the end, and then sewed the end so that way you get the shot cord effect here. And what this does is allow you to stretch it out, okay, and then you could go back into a 1 point. So this would go to the 2 point side of it. You have your little clip here to lock it in, your typical Magpul sling. And then of course on the back side is where I have it hooked into the molly. So let me show you that. So making our way to the rear of the plate carrier, you have your typical branding right here and up in here, depending on how this material came off the sheet, kind of determines where the actual logos are going to be. So it's kind of a hit and miss. It's not consistent, but that's your LBX logo there. And then we have, of course, the continuance on each side of my sling I made. And basically what it is it's your 1.25 inch width material. It's tubed, so I slid this 1 inch molly webbing in there, and I box stitched it, and then I routed it all the way down, and then I wrapped it up in your different rows of molly webbing here. And I came across with this, it looks like a G clip, so it's solid in this area, and it has one hole or one opening on this side, which allows you to clip it back through. And like I said, this is fully adjustable, so you just change it up and take it off of one set of molly rows, and then you could bring it up here and then adjust it accordingly. So depending on what you're into and what you're kind of using the sling for, that's how you would adjust it. You have your full drag handle right here, which is really nice. They stitched it across, they folded it, so it looks like it started off with this 2 inch webbing, came all the way across here, they folded it in and then stitched it across. So all the stitching looks really nice. It's really uniformed. You know what to expect from LBT or LBX is pretty much on par with each other. So I mean, it's as close as you're going to get to an LBT without spending the money of an LBT. This one ran, I believe, $160. I believe it was because it's Project Honor, so the colorway is unique, and it wasn't like the multicam stuff where it's readily available all the time. And I think the multicam was about the same price because it's the Cry Precision multicam. And then you have your standard colors like Coyote Brown and stuff, which I believe was like $20 cheaper or $10 cheaper. So that's something to keep in mind. But the overall build quality is really nice. Everything is, you know, perfect stitching. So you have these individual blocks, which is 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, to allow the 1 inch molly to be fished through there. And it's really nicely done all the way across. There's no waves in it, or there's no mess ups in the stitch. Everything's really nice and uniform. So that's going to complete today's video. Like I said, this LBX brand is a really nice brand for the price, and it's a great entry level if you're planning on getting a plate carrier for yourself. Just like I said, do your research and make sure you get everything fitted to your size and what you need for you. That's going to complete this quick overview of this plate carrier. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to see content like this and other content I'll be posting on my YouTube channel, definitely consider subscribing. Until next time, thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.